Hey y'all, Dixie here, and welcome back to another episode of Off Trail with Dixie. Today's guest is James Spann, who is a legendary meteorologist in Birmingham, Alabama, and the founder of Alabama Weather Network. During his almost 50 years as a weatherman, he's won several awards, including multiple Emmys, Broadcaster of the Year Award, National Weather Person of the Year, and many more. I feel like I've known him my whole life, so it's exciting to actually get to sit down and talk to him. So without further delay, here's Mr. James Spann. I am dead. I wish I just hit record too. I missed it, but I just got rickrolled by James Spann.
Oh, you actually know what a rickroll is. Most people don't even know what that is.
I sure do. Hey, I'm 40, so
Well, I apologize. That was not good.
Wished I was like, he's doing this on purpose. I'm hitting record. So at least I won't forget to hit record now.
I just was testing the audio on this platform to be sure that I had the right audios picked. And the Rickroll song
great.
Is always in the slide deck. So sorry.
Of all the times I've been rickrolled, this one is the most special. So thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I just first want to start off by thanking you, because I think you're the busiest guy that I know of. I emailed you like, hey, would you want to be a guest on my podcast? And you're like, yeah, sure, but I'm busy for like the next 2 years. So aside from that, but we'll try to figure something out. So I appreciate that.
Where are you? Like where
I am
physically
in
are you located?
Opelika. I am in Opelika, Alabama.
What a storm today. What a storm. Did you see that storm
sir.
today?
Yes,
that was
sir.
outstanding.
I did. And I was like, man, this is like how poetic that the day I'm going to interview James Spann, this storm is raging outside.
You got a very bizarre person here, but I'll try.
Yes, like one of the most interesting people ever. You've got a great story, and you've done a lot of things. And
we've been doing one of these podcasts since 2006.
I know.
We're 20 years old, and
hadn't missed a week.
And we don't even know. We don't even. It's like we don't prep. We don't. It's just like we don't even care if any listens. We just It's an
That's
outlet.
how this is. Just casual. Yeah.
It's an outlet for a bunch of weather people that need an outlet, and it started that way. And
that's great.
We just have fun.
And it's WeatherBrains, is that correct?
WeatherBrains.
Yeah,
the weekly show for weather geeks, dweebs, nerds, dorks, and weenies.
Perfect.
Monday night, 7 o'clock Central, youtube.com/WeatherBrains. Most people listen. About 75% listen.
Yeah.
And 25% watch. People still prefer just to listen, which is good because we look much better on an audio podcast.
Oh, no. And that actually is one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, because how do you manage such an intense and high level output of work, and you've managed, it seems, to stay in shape over the years? And I'm 40 now, and so I've kind of gotten into this longevity thing. Like, how can I, try to live forever? I'll fail at it, but like if you try, you'll probably feel pretty good for a while. But I don't do half of the output that you do. So how do you do it?
I am a very old person, but I have never felt this good in my entire life. I am 70, and I feel better now than I felt when I was 20. And I'm not just saying that. I mean that. I'm strong as an ox. Physically, my mental cognition, it's never been this sharp. And number one, I'm just blessed. But the key is that you've got to stay moving. You've got to stay moving physically. And I thought I was dying physically about 15 years ago. I mean, I don't sleep. The last time I slept was in 1973.
Oh, wow.
And
you sleep like 3 hours a night, don't you?
Yeah. And
you take a nap, basically.
Yeah. The diet's not good, and I had no physical exercise, and I knew that I just wasn't going to live much longer.
Yeah.
And so there was a little gym. We raised 2 boys. You're raising a boy, right? Yeah,
I am, and I have something on the way. Don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet. And then I have a 13-year-old stepdaughter. So, yes.
Oh, a 13-year-old daughter. The 13-year-old girl is terrifying. That scares me to death. The boys were easy.
Oh, really? See, he about wears me out. I mean, I am about worn out.
No,
he tries
just let
to
him
kill
go.
himself all day. He tries
That's what boys do. I'm from a little bitty town called Greenville. You probably never heard of
I
Greenville, Alabama.
have. I
You have
have.
not.
I have.
Yeah,
I did a internship. Well, I used to work for the USDA NRCS, and so I did an internship in West Alabama and North Alabama. So I've been around Alabama, Monroeville area. I was in Grove Hill, and anyway, yes. So I
well, that's
know.
where all
I
the
know
rich.
the.
That's where all the rich people live. I'm from Greenville. All right, that's a whole different situation. So, but I'll never forget when I was between first and second grade. You know, we had no phones, we had no video games, we had any of
Yeah.
this stuff. No tweeter, no
No
tot, none of this
tweeter.
stuff. We just go out and play in the woods all day. And I got a
Uh,
triple dog dare by my friends in Chapman, Alabama, in the woods, deep woods of South Butler County, to go to the bathroom on an electric fence. I almost died
oh.
during that incident. And
Oh wow.
that's what boys, I'm just telling you, that's what boys do. I mean, just
They
let them
do.
go. They
All
will
right.
learn what's right. They will learn what's wrong on their own.
If he doesn't die, he's already knocked himself out one time.
Well, good. That's what boys do. It's no
Yeah.
problem. I mean, but we raised two boys and there was nothing to it. But anyway, I thought I was just dying and I needed to live a little longer for various reasons. And so I started to pay attention to physical health. And
Yeah.
one of our two boys played good baseball player. He played for a big 7A high school, good athlete, and he trained at this facility. And I found out that they had classes for like regular stooges like me. So I started going down there, and the first 3 times it was horrible. The third time I came back to the TV station and vomited. I literally vomited. My
Oh
body
my
rejected it.
gosh. Yeah.
But now it started to kick in after a few more times, and about 15 years later, I'm still going at it.
That's
Burpees,
great.
box jumps, wall balls. I back squatted 260 the other day. For an old man, that's not bad. I'm
Wow.
70 years old.
No.
Full depth squat. And so I have to keep that up, and I've got to keep that up and be disciplined to do that 3 days a week, at least 3 days a week. And that's critical for me.
Yes,
And I've
sir.
adjusted my diet a little bit, but I'm moving. I stay busy. And the thing is, when I wake up in the morning, I can't wait. This is my wish for you and everybody else watching or listening to this. My wish for everybody is that they wake up and they cannot wait to do. Oh, wow. The power just went out.
Uh-oh. Oh, wow.
This is outstanding. How cool is this?
How did that happen?
Wow.
Are y'all having storms up there?
No, we have no
Oh.
storms whatsoever.
Did you forget to pay your power bill, James?
I apparently did. Wow. I've never had this problem before.
A quick shout out for today's sponsor who has really helped me get this podcast going, and that is Onyx Backcountry. They have dropped a new feature that is absolutely huge for anybody who explores the outdoors. Onyx SOS is now available in the Onyx Backcountry app. One button connects you with a 24/7 crisis response team, whether you have service or not, as long as you have a satellite SMS messaging capable device. This add-on feature is available to all account holders for just $49.99 per year and covers rescue and evacuation costs no matter where you are. No separate hardware, no claims process. And as somebody who has had to push an SOS button before and go through that process, that is priceless. See the show notes to learn more or to sign up for Onyx Backcountry SOS. And make sure you let them know I sent you at checkout. Now, let's get back to the show.
I wish that everybody can wake up and love what they do.
Absolutely.
I've had that for 48 years. I love weather. It's what I do. It's what I was born to do. And they pay me to do it. It's a dream. I'm living a dream.
Yeah.
And a lot of people my age, they just stop and they do nothing. They look horrible. They don't live much
and they
longer.
feel horrible. And they feel horrible.
Yes, it's bad. Ooh, here comes the lights.
There it is.
And they feel just horrible. And so, you know, the joy of what I do, it's part of it. And I work from 4 a.m. to midnight, which is fine. But
That's
anyway,
insane that you can manage that. I don't understand how you do it.
Working a job that you love, having a passion for what you do, staying in good shape physically, that keeps you in good shape mentally.
I agree.
And working in other ministries where you're away from your primary occupation. For 21 years, I have been the chairman of the board of a major hospital, which makes no sense for a weather guy, but everybody needs a ministry job like that. I've always been, my wife's a nurse. I'm fascinated by healthcare. I'm here to mitigate loss of life. It kind of made
Absolutely, you do.
sense.
Yeah.
And so it's been a great ride. I've loved that job. And I thought
I
it was
don't
going to
know
be a
how you
two-year
have
hitch.
time. I am blown away. Did
You
you go to a
you
school today?
you're busier than me. Today I saw senior adults at a place
Okay.
called Capstone Village in Tuscaloosa, and then I had a 4-hour board meeting at the hospital.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's what I did in between the morning. I do a morning shift at home, and I do the evening and night shift at the Alabama Weather Network complex, which normally has full
Yes.
power.
Yes.
So,
So tell me about that. Because when did you launch that?
well, we started a year ago. The 1 year
Okay.
anniversary was yesterday, and
Well, happy
my
anniversary.
dream has been to take care of this whole state. I know this state better than anybody. I'm
I
good at
believe you.
nothing. I'm good at nothing except for a few things, and one of them is Alabama people, culture, geography, microclimate. I've been here forever, and I know this state. I've been to every Dollar General. I've been to every school, every church, from Pansy, Canoe, Theodore, to Bridgeport, Waterloo, Elkmont, Ardmore, places you've never heard of before. These are my people, and it's a joy when there's a tornado down in, say, Butler County, where I'm from, coming through Chapman, Industry, McKenzie, Georgiana. You've never heard of these places before, but I've been there. Those are my people. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
where. And so in the old
Unless you're a
school.
Hank Williams fan, then you know Georgiana. But the rest of them,
Oh,
no.
Hank used to work at W.T. Smith Lumber Company. I got all kind of stories about that. But and the other thing too, for most of my career, I've done Ron Burgundy TV newscasts. Good evening. Here's the news. That's a product of a bygone era. It's not
Yeah.
relevant to hardly anybody. And it's like newspapers. Newspapers were great. They printed newspapers. How many newspapers are being printed now? I don't know of
Uh,
any. And
right.
linear television's going. When you go home, what do you watch? You go home, you want to relax, you turn on something. What do you watch? Probably Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube. My wife, all she does, she watches YouTube, gardening things and outdoor things and home decorating things, and it's great. She gets to enjoy it. And nobody watches linear television except SEC football or sports. And so that business model has collapsed. And so the one thing I wanted to do, in addition to taking care of the whole state when there's high impact weather, it's to build a new model for the next generation. It's nasty if you're going to leave the next generation a dumpster fire. These kids that want to do what you've done your entire life, they have a passion for it. They want to do weather. They want to
Yeah.
communicate weather, interface with the public. I don't want to leave them with a dumpster fire. I want to give them a vibrant, exciting business model that works financially. It works with the audience and everything else. And so that's
That
what we've
makes
done
sense.
here. And we'll take it to other states. I mean, we're not going to stop here. I'll never stop.
Oh, okay.
My, my,
I didn't know that was your goal.
my only fear is the fact that I might drop dead in front of third graders one day.
Oh
It's
no.
like, but all I want to do is, my prayer is to die in my sleep. I don't want to
You
terrorize a
don't do
bunch of,
a lot of that though, so I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what
it's
your
like,
odds are there.
or just drop dead in here or something. That's just like,
Yeah.
because my first school opening is in 2028.
Oh my
I'm in a school
gosh.
every single
I
day. I
know
mean,
you
it is
are. And that's
wall to
just for
wall.
fun. You do it for fun. That's what blows
Yeah,
my mind.
if I didn't do this for a living, if I didn't teach, if I didn't do weather professionally, my second choice for a career would be third grade science teacher. When your boy hits third grade, you're going to see what I mean. Third graders are great. They understand sarcasm. I thrive off sarcasm. They think you're funny. They've got the cognitive skill to learn middle school level science. They're still sweet. They don't smell bad. They don't have hormone problems. Third grade, that's magic. I mean, I
Yeah.
would teach third grade all day. And where some people, it wears them out, it totally energizes me. So
Yeah.
the school thing in the
That's
middle of the
great.
day, it's a win-win-win-win-win for everybody. It's just great. I love it.
Yeah. So the super outbreak in 1974, that was what kind of, I know you were interested in weather before that, but that's what kind of pushed you to pursue a career in it. Is that correct?
And this was over 50 years ago. How do you know about that?
I just know of it. I was born in 86, so I was -12 at that time,
I've got underwear older than you.
but
Uh,
my gosh,
And
it's probably your church underwear because it's holy, but
yeah, that's exactly right. No, here's the deal. Again, I'm from Greenville.
right.
My people are from Greenville. If you want to know who I am, go to Butler County, Alabama. If you ever drive between Montgomery and Mobile, Alabama,
Yeah.
those are my people. When I go back, it's like being dipped in healing waters. They understand me. I understand them. But we had to move away when I was an older child, which broke my heart. My father abandoned me and my mom, and life got hard. To that man, me and my mom were worth nothing, not 1 cent, and we were broke. And after a few years, my mama knew that I loved Greenville. All my friends, my world was there. But we had to move to this nasty, horrific sounding place called Tuscaloosa. And by the way, I finished at Mississippi State. Everybody hates me, okay? Auburn fans hate me. Alabama fans hate me. I'm universally hated. I finished at Mississippi State. But my mom needed a year of college to get a job and support us. And that's what brought us there. And I think that was part of what had to happen, I guess, for me to do this. And that Tuscaloosa is the weather capital of the world, in a way. And the 70s was just violent. And when I was a senior, that was 1974, we had the largest outbreak of tornadoes on record in the country. And guess what we did not have in 1974? We did not have these.
Right.
You couldn't get on Instagram. You couldn't get on the Talk. You couldn't get on the Twitter. You couldn't get on the Facebook. You couldn't. There was no phones.
Well, and it kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
The event itself was kind of forecast, but back then, forecasting was crude and people didn't pay much attention to it. But they desperately needed communication volunteers that had a ham radio license, and I had one. Even though I was low income, some guy donated some old equipment, surplus equipment to me, and I took the exam and I got a license when I was a teenager. And the school gave me 3 days off to volunteer, and it changed my life. The first town we went to, you ever heard of a town called Jasper, Alabama?
Yes, I certainly have.
And for some reason, they put me in the ED, the emergency department, this little hospital, the People's Hospital in Jasper. And I was busy hanging antennas and stringing up cable and getting the link established from the hospital to the relief agencies. I was busy. But when I finished doing all that work, I just looked around and I saw things a 17-year-old child should never see. I had night terrors. I would wake up shaking in the middle of the night.
I can only imagine.
The nature of the wounds. I've never talked about it publicly. I've never talked about it privately, and I never will. But I guess I had to see that. And then the next day, we were sent to this town called Guin, Alabama. And I thought Jasper was bad. I thought the world was ending. To this day, that's the most violent tornado that has touched down in this state in my 70 years. Nothing is compared to that. And I used to love storms. I loved them. I couldn't wait for a tornado. I mean, I couldn't wait. Let's do it. But you don't think about the negativity, the humanitarian impact of these things. I was just a kid. And then we wound up in Cullman and Huntsville. And it just, I think I had to experience that and see that to do what I do for a living, because I take this job seriously. I mean, I joke around a lot, but when there are tornadoes flying, it's serious business. And,
absolutely.
You jump ahead from the 1974 super outbreak to the one that you might remember was in 2011, 15 years ago.
I was at Auburn then as a student. I should have been about done then. I took my time. I went to school for engineering, and I know that you had started off in electrical.
Yeah,
I started off in electrical and then went to mechanical and then ended up in biosystems, which was formerly known as agricultural engineering. So,
yeah. Well, in 2011, and again, I as a high school kid 50 years ago, I'd experienced a day like that, but not professionally. When I was, it happened on my watch. And, the warnings were really, really good. And for those that don't know what happened that day, in our state, we had 62 tornadoes in one day. And the number that I will not accept this number, never will, 252. What does that represent? The number of people that died that day. That's 252 people in this state died on my watch. And I've memorized almost every single name. I know the stories.
Wow.
I wonder what they would be doing now. Some of those
Yeah.
that died were infants. They'd be teenagers now. Some died that were older. Some died that were in college and high school. And I'm very, very, very motivated because that can't happen again. Now, the next time we have a day like that, those happen about once every 40 years.
I
So
was
I'll
going to
be at
say
the
like 40 to
cemetery.
50, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be at the cemetery next time it happens like that. But all it takes is one. Hey, when one comes down your street, that's your April 27th.
Absolutely.
And so, I didn't even talk about it for 6 months. I had to grieve and go through the phases of grief, which is very odd for me because I'm typically very positive. And I went through some depression and anger issues. And looking back on that, I regret not getting professional help. A lot of
Yeah.
men have a problem with getting professional help. And that's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of strength. And by not getting professional help, that was weakness. And I should have. A lot of weather people did not get help. And in the healthcare world, that's one of my priorities is behavioral health. Nobody talks about it. We're not good at it. Most hospitals aren't good at it. The state of Alabama's got problems, but that's a topic for another day. But we can't let that happen again. I'm really motivated. And what we learned that day is that what I do is not enough. I'm a numbers guy. Numbers,
Right.
math, science. That's all I do. I'm severely dyslexic. But the math teachers, well, wait a minute. This guy's doing differential equations and he's in 10th grade. And then the other lady would say, but he's reading on third grade level. And they didn't know if I was an idiot or a genius. And to this day, nobody knows if I'm an idiot or a genius. But what the deal is, physical science, what we do is not enough. It's not. We don't know anything about human behavior. We're asking people to radically modify their behavior to save their life. And so we went to social scientists, these brilliant men and women that understand human behavior, because the warnings could not have been better.
Right.
I mean, you had 40 minutes lead time in some cases. And so we have learned a lot. All the messaging, the respect the polygon, all these things, that's born out of social science.
Okay.
There's a reason for every seemingly nonsensical thing that I do.
Well, it makes sense, and it's wonderful that y'all started looking into that because I was going to ask you, after with it happening roughly every 40 to 50 years, because it was 1884, 1932, 1974, 2011.
What are you, a weather dweeb? What's the deal here? You
No,
know things.
no,
You
I
know
just
things.
well, because I was going to talk to you, so I got to know stuff. I got to know what I'm talking about. But so with that pattern, and I know you say you won't be here for the next one, but you never know. What do you hope will change, and do you think that that's what it is that we have to be more aware?
Let me ask you
behavior?
this.
Yeah.
Here's I tend to take over like WeatherBrains. This is not my show. This is your show. But let me ask you this: what was the number one reason people died? April 27, 2011. What do you think? Number one reason people died?
They just didn't heed the warning. I don't.
Nope.
I don't know.
The siren mentality.
And I was going to ask you about your dislike for sirens. So this is perfect.
And this is social science research. This is not some bag of hot air, which I'm a bag of hot air. This is data you can quantify. A large percentage of people, not only just in my state, but around the country, honestly believe in their heart that they're going to hear a World War II air raid siren in their house before a tornado, which is nonsense. So it's 3 a.m. There's a raging storm. You're sound asleep, and you're going to hear some siren 5 miles away. That's nuts. You can't hear a siren in a house, in a business, in a car. Oh, you might hear one if you're on your front porch on a sunny day when they're testing.
Well, I was going to say when they're testing them on a nice day. Ours are Wednesday at noon. Every week,
you're thinking, oh man, I'm always going to hear that siren.
Yeah,
that's nonsense. And
that makes sense.
We've got to stop that. In the next year, the January of 2012, a 16-year-old girl, Christina Heichelbeck, she was killed at 4 a.m. by a tornado northeast of Birmingham in a suburb called Clay. The warning was in effect 37 minutes. 37 minutes.
Wow.
And the grieving father later that day said they didn't hear the siren. Come on. Wow. Are you kidding me? And I'm not throwing him under the bus. I know him. No. I know both of them. Daryl and Carol Heichelbeck, they're good friends. In fact, they'd rather be on this show with tears streaming down their cheeks, begging people to stop it, to
Right.
stop thinking you're going to hear
No,
some stinking siren.
I would have. I mean, and I know people think that. I've thought that. Well, yeah, we'll hear the sirens. We'll take cover, whatever.
So what are we going to do to stop that? What's the baseline?
So
what's the baseline? I'm asking you. What's the baseline? What's the primary method you should use in your house to get a warning?
Weather radio.
Yes, I knew you would say that.
And have a helmet.
What percentage of Alabamians have a weather radio? We think it's 6.
Oh, really?
So everybody's got a smoke alarm.
I do now.
Everybody's got a smoke alarm. It's the law. But 6% have a weather radio, which is basically like a smoke alarm for tornadoes in your house.
Right.
And if you live here long enough, you'll have more close encounters with tornadoes than fires. And understand there's some people that cannot afford them. We've got to do a better. We did a very poor job of reaching low-income families, and shame on us. Shame on us for that, because that's where I come from.
Right.
We have to do better for low-income families, but we've got to get a weather radio in everybody's hand. We've got to fix that. And everybody's thinking, well, I've got me a iPhone Pro Max, Samsung.
Right. I was going to ask how you feel about the phone apps.
And they're critical. They are. This is a critical way of getting warnings. But now at night, most phones go into a sleep or do not disturb mode.
I see.
And you get no notifications. And during a genuine bona fide tornado emergency, in many cases, cell service stops and your fancy phone becomes a brick. It does nothing. But they're still critical. And by the way, on these phones, every phone sold in the United States has something called wireless emergency alerts. That's that loud tone out you get. Not an app, but it's a built-in government feature. In Alabama,
like
you
Amber
get 3
Alert.
things. You get a tornado warning, a high-end flash flood warning, and an Amber Alert. We have learned that many people have turned off emergency alerts. You know why? They don't want to get an Amber Alert. What? So there's a child missing and you don't want to help. This is where we are in society.
That is insane. People actually, first of all, I didn't even know you could turn that off, but the fact that people do so that they don't get an Amber, so that they don't get the alert.
Yeah, they don't want to get the
child.
Amber.
Wow.
So they'll miss the tornado warnings with the Weatones. So the main thing, be sure that your emergency alerts are turned on.
Yeah.
But again, that's why that weather radio is critical. It doesn't have anything to do with a cell network. That's the baseline, and then the phone comes, second after that.
Gotcha.
But getting the warning, that's just a big deal. And this, I'm so stinking mad at these sirens. Guess you know what me and you need to do? You look like you're in good shape. You're like run 500 miles, don't you?
Well, I don't run it. I walk very slowly and record butterflies and caterpillars and stuff along the way. But I can go and not stop. So.
Yes, I don't understand. I've never understood this running thing. It's not my jam. I walk through the woods of Butler County. That's what I do. I would walk miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
Yes.
And if there was some guy that started shooting at us, we'd run. We could run real fast.
Then you run. But you save it up. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't like to run.
Yeah, I just don't get it. But anyway, back to what we were saying about this whole tornado thing. We've got to get the warnings into people's hands.
Yeah.
And that weather radio is a critical thing.
So what was the point of the sirens? Just for, if you're standing outside in horrible weather?
And what I was going to say, me and you need to climb these poles and take them down and burn them.
Okay,
We can climb some poles.
I'll do it. We'll do it.
It's people just have a love affair with it. It's weird. If there's anything that people disagree with me about, I always hear that siren. No, you don't. No.
Yeah.
And if I have to get bold and cranky, I'll get bold. One thing about being old, you don't care what people think.
Yeah, you say what you want.
But we've got to move past that. So that's the number one reason people died. What's the number 2 reason people died?
They didn't have a helmet.
You got that right. You're good. Why do you know this stuff? Are you just going to weather dweeb or what?
No. Well, I remember when my brother was getting married in, let's see, it was March of last year. Yes. 2025, and in Birmingham, and we were staying there at a hotel, and you mentioned you should have a helmet, and so we went to Academy or something and got helmets just in case. We decided to stay at the hotel another day and weather the storm there instead of driving in it. But it ended up there was a window that we could drive, so we came on home. But we still, we've got our helmets.
Well, now,
So.
again, most people that die in tornadoes is blunt force trauma above the shoulders. And by putting on a cheap Walmart bicycle helmet, if you have
It can
kids
make
that
all
play
the
sports,
difference.
a batting helmet, a football helmet, a motorcycle helmet, that increases your chance of survivability by over 70%. And this is not just me. This is peer-reviewed research. And I hang out with ER docs and trauma docs. Again, that's one reason I took that volunteer job in healthcare, and that's critical. And I look back on April 27th. You can look at all this stuff on YouTube, all those 15 hours. It's there. How many times did I mention put on a helmet? Not once, which means there's blood on my hands. I've got to do better of reminding people you got to wear a helmet. And it's not just for kids, it's for old people.
Right, for everybody, for the family. Anybody you want to keep alive.
Right. Every human life is precious. And then and I'll stop preaching about, we probably not supposed to be talking about weather here, but the third thing, and I'll stop at this, it's on us. The false alarm ratio is ridiculous. Back in 2011, false alarm ratio out of the Weather Service in Birmingham was 83%. 83% of tornado warnings were false alarms. And we heard this all the time in research. I hear warnings all the time and nothing ever happens. And that's on us.
Thank goodness it doesn't.
Crying wolf.
Yeah, I see that, but also I'd rather have too many warnings than not one that matters, But I could see what you're saying.
We got too many warnings now. It's bad.
I got you.
Now in Birmingham, the FAR is down to 28%. I never thought it would be that low in my lifetime. But you got some weather service offices where the false alarm ratio is almost 90%. That's nuts. That's killing people. We're better than that. We've got to do better, and we're fighting the nonsense on social media. Now, are you a TikTok dancer?
I don't. I have a TikTok, but I don't. I kind of live under a rock.
You're not a TikTok dancer?
No, I don't get into all that. But do you do that?
No, I'm on TikTok because that's where young people are. To reach them, I have to be there. It's a nasty. Every time I get on TikTok, my IQ drops 10 points.
Oh,
it's
I
bad.
know. Well, and on YouTube, it's bad. I mean, TikTok is worse, but on YouTube, the sensationalism on some of the stuff is a little ridiculous. But anyway, go ahead.
And so people open up TikTok, and if you open it up right now, you will see that mankind will be wiped out by next year because of Super El Nino.
Oh, okay.
And people, and it has 3 million views.
Oh my God.
And these jabronis that put this stuff together, they don't care about truth. All they care is about the Creator Content Fund, how much money you can make. And so they'll make stuff up, and people just believe anything. They don't know how to find a credible source. You can open up TikTok right now. There's a Category 5 hurricane coming up Mobile Bay in 2 weeks. And they're pointing at some tropical wave in the Atlantic that's going to totally fizzle out and do absolutely nothing. They make it up to get money from the Creator Content Fund. We've had people cancel elective surgery because of what some nitwit on TikTok said about a winter storm.
Are you serious?
There's going to be a crippling ice storm across Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana on January 23rd. And they put this out 4 weeks in advance. And again, it means nothing. It's total nonsense. But people are making horrible decisions. And so we're fighting this nonsense on the social platforms. And if we in the professional weather enterprise have a false alarm ratio of 90%, that's horrible. Yeah. And we've got to get that under control. And we're going to this major national weather conference here in October in Omaha, Nebraska. And we're going to, Kevin Laws, he's the science operations guy at the Weather Service in Birmingham. We're going to take the gloves off, see if we can fix that problem. So anyway, but just please find a credible source.
Well, and I was going to ask you how you felt about that, because most of the thumbnails I see on YouTube are like you're talking about, the world is basically ending. And, in some ways I could see how, okay, that might draw more people to pay attention to weather, to care about it. But in another way, it seems like it's desensitizing them or making them, that's just another one of those people saying the world's ending. And
yeah. And I know some of these guys, the YouTubers, they're all not bad. Like Ryan Hall, y'all. I know the guy.
But do you have to put
And
I understand that's what brings people in, that's what makes people click or whatever, but is it good for the overall message, to have, I don't know, such sensationalized things?
we busted his chops, Ryan, over those thumbnails when he started Ryan used to do vape videos. and he listened, and his content is so much better now. And he does it right. He knows how to attract eyeballs. He knows what people like to watch. And all these old school Ron Burgundy TV weather guys, they get all upset at Ryan Hall and Max Velocity. Here's an idea. Don't get upset at these guys. Maybe learn something from them. They understand how people consume media today. You're doing Brick Tamlin, Ron Burgundy from 1985 that is relevant to nobody. And so, and I know Max Schuster. His name's Max Schuster. He calls himself Max Velocity. And are they doing everything right? No. Am I doing everything right? No. But we have to learn from each other. So, but yeah, the thumbnails are bad. It's a game you have to play. Do you have bad thumbnails on your now? Do you have?
I don't do clickbait.
Is this on YouTube?
I do. I have. Well, the podcast is like on all the major platforms, so Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, et cetera, but my main YouTube channel, Homemade Wanderlust, which is where I put all my backpacking stuff, I don't do clickbait. I've gotten to where some of them may be a little more vague, so you have to click to find out what it's about, because that's it. Your hand is forced to some extent, but I refuse to be sensational when there's nothing actually super exciting about, whatever. Now, when something happens that, like, I captured myself staring face to face with a mountain lion for a minute and a half, yes, I'm gonna use that for what I can. Of course, I'm not gonna put, oh my gosh, I almost died from a mountain lion attack or something like that. But yes, I face to face with a mountain lion or something. Yes, because that's what actually happened. Did you know I got accused on one of my through hikes? I did the Pinhoti Trail, which goes through Alabama and then into Georgia. And it was on the Georgia side of the trail, but I got accused of shoplifting. And
that's outstanding.
They called the police. Like, I looked a little homeless, okay? I was probably stinky, had been in the woods a few days. I'm wearing a puffy jacket and rain pants, and I'm going in there looking for a $5 bottle of allergy medicine. And I put my gloves in my jacket pocket, so I guess somebody thought I took something off the shelf and did it. And they had the cops come and everything. I was offering to take my clothes off. I was like, y'all are not. I was standing in line when the cops got there, but I was like, y'all are not accusing me. Like, I will strip down right here, but everything that I'm purchasing is in my hands, and they went and checked the camera footage and saw that I was telling the truth, and they let me go. But anyway, I don't know why I got on about that. Just, you mentioned Dollar General earlier, and the sensationalized stuff on YouTube. So that, I used that. I used that footage. I got the cop cam footage. And so if interesting things actually happen, then
we just had a show title. Do you do show titles here? I mean, that's the greatest thing. When somebody says something outrageous, immediately we scream show title. We've done 1,072 episodes, and everyone has this obnoxious, weird show title. And you just said, I'm willing to take my clothes off. That's the show title.
That's the title of this episode.
I'm telling you, the show title, you don't need those stinking thumbnails. You need a good show title. That has worked for us on WeatherBrains. Like, you go to WeatherBrains and look at all the different episodes and the show titles. It's like smells like Texas in here. Bladder of iron. I'm looking at some of these. It's like people will listen just to see what the show title's about.
Just to see, how in the world did they end up saying that?
What episode number is this?
This is 20 something. I don't remember off the top of my head, like 25 or something like that.
Episode number 25. I was willing to take my clothes off. Everybody would watch this. So anyway, that's a pro tip from an old.
I don't know, either that
guy.
or I got rickrolled by James Spann. I don't know which has a better ring to it.
That's good too. That's another great show title. So.
Yeah, that was funny. I thought you did that on purpose. That was
I was
hilarious.
Literally checking. I'm using some software and to be sure the audio is working.
Yeah, you got to test something.
I just got to test something, so I've always got the Rickroll song in here. And most people watching this, they have no idea what a rickroll is. But
And then it fades to you, and I was like, "Wow, touche, touche."
sorry.
No, it was great. So I have to ask this question. People always joke about how the weather predictions are incorrect and this, that. Do you think it will ever be possible to know where and when it's going to rain in the state of Alabama in the summertime? Do you think that will
No.
ever be possible? No,
Well, never say
lost
never.
hope.
Never
Yeah.
say never. It's not going to, sure not going to happen on my generation. I don't think it's going to happen on the next generation. You've got to have real time upper air data for that to happen. You know what we're
Yeah.
doing? We're still launching balloons. We're still launching weather balloons. What year is this? This is like, 2026, and we're launching 2 balloons a day. That's nuts. Think about everything that happens in the upper atmosphere that we don't know about in 12 hours. And
Yeah.
that's what goes into the models that we use. Models can't handle summer convection. Nobody knows. Your app doesn't know. Your crap weather app, open the
Right.
thing. Oh, there's an 87% chance of rain at 4:23. That's garbage. We don't know. Your app doesn't
Right.
know. The most brilliant researcher in meteorology doesn't know. It's beyond the science. That's one of our big weaknesses. And the other weakness at this latitude is what? Winter storms. We're horrible at it. You can have a crippling ice storm on your side of town. And the other side of town is just raining. In trying to define that line,
That line.
we just don't.
Yeah.
We don't have enough experience. We don't. And they're better up north. They still struggle too, but they're better because they have more analogs. And that's a beautiful thing with tornadoes and severe. We're darn good at that.
Yeah.
Because we've
right.
worked so many events over the years. But
Well, and because of Dorothy from Twister, if it hadn't been for that, that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
for good old Dorothy.
we've got to get better at winter
Yeah.
storms. I thought I was going to be fired. This is what we're overdue for. And don't tell people I'm saying it's going to happen this winter, but we're overdue for a crippling, catastrophic ice storm. You've never lived through one.
No, there was one that I remember a lot of people were stuck on, even down in Texas. I feel like that, and the one that was so bad in Birmingham. Gosh,
Well,
I think I might have been living in Colorado at the time.
We had a
Snowpocalypse
little
or
thing
whatever.
called Snowmageddon. This was in
Snowmageddon.
2014.
That's
But
okay. Yeah.
that was a flash freeze. That was
Okay.
a flash freeze. It was a little bit of snow. Everybody had power.
Okay.
It was bad. And we screwed it up. It was 18 degrees and snowing, and the snow came down. The snow melted. The snow melt turned to ice in an instant. Roads had a slab of ice on them. I've never had a flash freeze like that in my life. But an ice storm is when it's raining. It's pouring rain, and it's 25 degrees. And before the storm started, it got down to maybe 10 degrees. The infrastructure totally frozen. The last catastrophic ice storm for most of Alabama was in 1982. There was a bad one in 96 up around the shoals, but the statewide was 82. Over 100 people froze to death, exposure to cold.
Wow.
They got stranded. They tried to find a warm place, and it didn't exist because 1 million people had no power.
Oh,
The
my
weight of the
God.
ice pulled so many lines down and poles down that they had to rebuild the entire infrastructure. And we've not had a catastrophic ice storm really statewide since 82, and that's a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Right. But
but
how
I'm-
frequent are those roughly?
We're
us.
overdue. We're overdue. And this is an El Nino winter. During an El Nino phase, typically the hurricane seasons are not bad in the Atlantic. And then the cold season can feature, it's normally really wet. And normally it's just rain. But on occasion, you get this little shallow layer of Arctic air. It's got to be shallow for an ice storm. It can't be deep. That's when it snows. When it's shallow, that's when it's just raining. It's freezing rain. And all the players are on the field for some weird stuff to happen. And our tornado season here is November through May. We're worried about, active tornadoes. Since we put this thing on the air a year ago, we've had no weather, just no major statewide big high impact events. I get the idea that's going to change this year. So just strap in for an interesting fall, winter, spring.
Okay.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, maybe with you starting that network, that's what it needed. Because when I'm out
Yeah.
hiking, if it looks like it's going to rain, all I have to do is take my heavy pack off, set it down, pull out my rain gear, put it on, and start walking again, and it'll stop raining. So, Alabama just needed you to start this network to get ready to
And we
report on
quit
stuff.
having
And
bad
it
weather.
just,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
exactly.
whatever. It's like when you buy a new radar, you quit having storms. It's the same kind of thing. So if that's what it takes, we're more than happy that we made it happen here. Now
Well,
what?
good.
So, all right. So you're on the Pinhoti Trail. You're in
Yeah.
Cleburne County, Alabama, and your phone goes off with a tornado warning. What do you do?
I know. Well, I was going to ask you that because,
I'm asking you that. I want to know what you say.
I put my head between my legs and kiss my butt goodbye because, I have been, thankfully, I have not been in a situation where I really was thinking, oh my gosh, I might get hit by a tornado. I've had some pretty bad thunderstorms and things like that out there, but the worst situation I've been in is with lightning. I've been out in Colorado, just a couple of miles from tree line, and there's nothing I can do, and a cloud rolls up and my hair is standing up, and I'm like, wow, I really hope lightning doesn't strike the spot right now, and I just have to go as fast as I can. So, I would set up my tent. I would hope to not be near dead trees, but other than that, I don't know. I don't really know what I would do. And I was also going to ask you if there's a good way to try to track weather out there while you're on the trail so that you don't die. But I don't know if you have any tips for
I would
that.
assume that you would have to have some type of Starlink internet access. I would assume cell phones don't work on the trails, right?
Sometimes you have service out there. It really depends. On the Pinhoti Trail, I think I had I have Verizon. I had a decent amount of service here and there. But a lot of times you're in airplane mode. So,
and I don't have this service, but I think you can have a little box that fits in a backpack that's, the Starlink internet service where
right.
It doesn't matter where you are. You've got
You have
guaranteed good, reliable internet access, which is all the low orbiting satellites that they put into orbit. So to me, that would be the first thing. You got to be able to stay in touch.
Okay.
And of course, if you don't, and I agree with you, lightning's I'm terrified. I'm afraid of one thing when it comes to weather, and it's lightning. I'm terrified. Yeah. And, I've stopped a Southeastern Conference football game. You haven't done that, have you?
I have not done that.
I do weather support for a major college. And remember, I finished where? Mississippi State. Everybody hates me.
They've got good ice cream there.
They really do. But I do weather. I was Coach Saban's weather guy, and I do weather support there.
Yeah.
I'm at every single home game. About 10 years ago, we had lightning within 7 miles. The rule is 8 with the SEC.
Okay.
And we had to stop a game. And that's the
people
right
are mad
thing to
at
do.
You. No, it is.
And
absolutely.
I don't care. I don't care.
No, I love the way you deal with the haters. I love it. Good morning to everybody but this guy.
Except this guy, yeah.
Except this one, yeah.
I got a good one tonight. I might post it tomorrow. But no, it to me, that would be you're right. You're not going to have that many tornado warnings, but the thunderstorms are just terrifying. And if you don't have any communication, all you can do is just remember the old rule: if you hear thunder, you're close enough to be hit by lightning, even if it's not raining. And I don't know what you do on a trail. I walk through the woods of Butler County, but obviously the object of the game is to get away from trees, and that's kind of hard to do.
But you also don't want to be like the highest point in an exposed area either. So it's like, okay, you gotta get away from trees, but I don't necessarily want to be in a wide open field up on a hill or something. And so dead trees I avoid even on a still night. So it's just
I would get in a tent ASAP.
I do that.
But again, with that Starlink internet access, it gives you the ability to see the radar data, and you can see
how bad it is.
Right. The object is to have time to get to a good place where there's some type of shelter, and you just have to be able to pull the radar data and look at it, and not some crappy low resolution radar composite. I mean, good high resolution single site radar data, which again, that's the one thing on the app we put together. I demanded. I said, let's have that. And most apps charge for that. Ours is free. In most every weather app, the radar is low resolution poor quality composite data. It's no good. You need
And what
that
is
good,
it
high quality.
called? Your app?
Ours is called Alabama Weather Network. Works
Okay.
everywhere.
Okay.
It works anywhere in the country, but it's branded Alabama Weather Network. And
Alabama Weather Network.
the key is when you go on that radar, don't use the national composite. Use the radar that's closest to you, and it will give you the options to do that. And it's free, and you can see velocity.
That's
And
fantastic.
lightning and reflectivity and the whole thing. So that's critical. But I also recommend those of you that hike to take a quick radar course.
Okay.
Just to be sure that you know what you're looking at. People are kind of trained to look for a bunch of red, and that's okay.
Basically.
That's just the,
Yeah.
that's the greatest returned energy back to the radar. But they don't know much beyond that. And just a
Okay.
simple 30-minute, just a search for YouTube. I'm sure there's somebody's put together a good 30-minute radar course. I just recorded one today for Alabama Power Company employees, but
Perfect.
yeah, it would help you to know just if you're going to be an outdoorsman and hike a lot, you better know a lot about radar technology and how it works.
Yeah. Yep. You're at the mercy of Mother Nature out there. It's people are funny. They're like, so what do you do when it rains? I'm like, you get wet. You just get wet. That's all you can do.
Now,
Just keep
have you ever
walking.
been hit by lightning?
No, gosh, knock on wood. But that's been my biggest weather fear. I've been a couple of times where I'm on a mountain and my hair is standing up, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling. I do not like that feeling. And the first time was the most intense time. I was actually on the phone because I was up high enough, I had service, and I had my trekking poles tucked under my arm. And I kept hearing this buzz, and I was like, there's this bug that's like following me, and what is going on? I finally kind of stopped paying attention to the phone call, looking for the bug, and I realized it was the metal tips of my trekking poles buzzing.
Golly.
And then
Wow.
my friend, who's also the producer for this podcast, and he edits my YouTube channel, but he was like pointing at me and laughing, and I was like, I looked and could see my hair standing up, and I was like, this is not funny. He's like, yeah, I mean, it kind of is. I'm like, we're about to die. If we live to talk about this later, it might be funny, but right now it is not funny. But yeah, he's got a picture of me where I'm not in a good mood that he's taking my picture like that. But anyway, it is funny now. But
now, do most people that consume this podcast here, do they watch or do they listen?
I think most of them watch, but you can even watch on Spotify now.
Right.
It's got the video with it
All right,
and all that.
But all right, so here we go.
Yeah.
All right, you're out in the woods.
Yes. Wow,
And
we're getting a crash course. Yes.
You see that. There's a violent tornado in it. Without thinking twice, you ought to know where it is. Where is it?
I don't know how to. Well, I would assume in red, but you said don't look at red. So
the tornado is in the circle right there.
Well, I was going to say that little curvy part is, but right. I don't know. You have a
what is the curvy part called? A hook echo.
Okay, a hook echo.
Everything, every color, every pixel you see there, that's an echo. The radar beam bouncing off raindrops. And on the rear flank of a storm, you'll see in the colors of yellow and orange the shape of a hook.
Okay.
And that's a hook echo. At the end of the hook, there's a spot of red and white in the circle there.
I see that.
It's barely raining. It's barely raining. So what is it? What's the radar beam bouncing off of there? Stuff in the tornado. Okay. Boards, bricks, glass, nails, tree limbs, dead animals. It's horrifying. That's called a debris ball. And again, that's a very clear signature here. And real quick, I'll do one more. Radar can show wind. And again, with our app, and I'm not here to promote apps, but with a good single site radar app, you can see velocity. Green, those are raindrops coming toward the radar. Orange going away. And that's what it looks like. And I'll show you one where you can kind of see them both side by side. And this is a violent tornado, just violent. In fact, that one killed 32 people just west of Birmingham. And again, you can see the rain, the colors of red, yellow, the hook. The end of the hook, that's the tornado. In the wind, green is inbound, pink is outbound. So I'm just saying, I think for everybody that does,
absolutely,
that gets out and hikes, a good little radar crash course would be a good thing.
No, that would be for sure. I mean, I don't know. I guess especially if you're in a situation where you're like, well, we can cut out through this forest road and hit a road and try to hitchhike to get out of here or something like that. If there is an exit strategy, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to take it if you know what's going on.
Yeah, and the other thing too, just one more recommendation, it's to consider taking a storm spotting course. All right here. Is that a tornado? Yes or no?
Yes.
Let me roll the video here. Tornado? Yes or no?
Yes.
The answer is absolutely not.
Oh no,
There
it's
is
not.
no rotation. No.
To be fair, it's very small on my screen, but it looks.
No rapid rotation.
Okay.
No debris. You see no debris. Nothing's flying around. That's a scud cloud. That's junk. It means absolutely nothing. People see scud clouds. Is
that something that somebody sent you?
Oh, I've got probably 100,000 videos of scud clouds. People think they're tornadoes. All right, here. Tornado, yes or no?
No. I can't.
That's junk. It's
I was
junk.
going to say, it looks like the same thing that you sent. Okay.
Yeah, it's scud. Different storm, different place, but that's scud. Tornado here, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely not. That's rain.
Not?
Rain from a distance can look like a tornado.
Yeah, I would.
Tornado here, yes or no?
No.
No. What is it? It's a wall cloud. That's critical that we know about wall clouds. This is where tornadoes come from. So if we get a good report of a wall cloud, we can issue a more timely warning and give people more time to go to a safe place. And that's another thing too. See, my charge to you is that you got to take storm spotting and a simple radar course. You'll never look at a storm the same again.
Yeah. No, I would like to learn more about it anyway. I do have a question for you. So I live now in a better home than I did while I was in college and for a lot of years. But I used to live in an old mill house in the Opelika Mill Village. My grandparents worked there for years where Norma Rae was filmed. And so there are no rooms that didn't have a window and there were no closets that you could get in. So, and there was crawl space. So forever I was like, what would be the best thing? Like, do you run under the house into the crawl space? Do you just like get near it? An interior wall, at least, even if the room has a window. So what do you do?
We're not a big fan of crawl spaces. And again, my first major in college was electrical engineering and not mechanical. But I study the engineering work and storm damage assessment work to see what worked and what didn't work. And in a case like that, we just don't like crawl spaces. There's a lot of things that go wrong. Was there a bathroom in that house?
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. The bathroom.
I will tell you that the walls are often, even if it faces an outside wall, that plumbing can reinforce the walls. And, over and over, we've seen in houses like that. And by the way, those homes were probably engineered very well.
Right.
A lot of those homes
built in the 20s or 30s.
I've seen it where a lot of those houses were engineered very well compared to houses built in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
But yeah, I would pick a small bathroom. Any bathroom in there would be the best bet. And you don't have to be underground. You don't. Just interior room, hall closet, bathroom, helmet, and you'll be okay.
That's another pet peeve of yours. I just thought about, if I'm remembering correctly, the people parking under underpasses.
That's boneheaded. Yeah, there's nothing good about that. There's nothing good about that. Just nothing. I mean, if this you're going to park under an underpass, get out of the car, and getting out of the car, that's right. A car's a death trap, but you're going to go sit up there under that bridge. If there's a tornado coming, the debris in that tornado, you will be impaled. You probably won't survive. There's no hope, and that's a horrible decision. I mean, if you're going to do anything, you don't get up under the bridge. You just lay totally flat in a ditch or the lowest place you can find that's not full of water. You try and keep that debris above you, because
I was going to ask them what would be the best bet? You're in your car. Here comes a tornado.
I would lie flat on the ground with my arms around my head, so objects will go into my arms and not into my skull.
Okay.
And obviously you don't want to be in some kind of a deep ditch where you can drown with a flash flood, but at the same time, you need to be as flat on the ground as you can. And you get up there into that bridge, it's just, that's bad.
Yeah.
But
Oh, with all that
our biggest
rebar and
our
concrete.
biggest challenge, it's mobile homes.
Yeah.
I would
And that's
assume
what
that
it
you
hits.
lived
It's
there
like a
in 20.
magnet.
I would
Yes,
assume you lived there in 2018.
yes.
Um, and what happened at Beauregard was it set us back. We thought we had made so much progress after 2011,
That's where I went as
and
Beauregard High School for high school.
and you know most of those that died lived in trailers.
Yep.
And let me just say this: it's wonderful, affordable housing. I wish I had a trailer when I was in 5th and 6th grade. I wish I had
Yeah.
one. I tell weather people, don't you dare talk in a condescending way to somebody that lives in a trailer. All right, don't you do that. If you do that, you're going to have to deal with me.
Yeah.
But we have to do better for them. They need more lead time. The average lead time for a tornado here is about 12 to 15 minutes. In most cases, they need 30 to 40 minutes to get to a shelter. And in many cases, they don't have transportation. It's easy for some pinhead like me to get on a live stream and say, get out of a mobile home. Well, what if you don't have a running car?
Right.
And you can't do that. And then what if you maybe do have a running car, but you really don't have a place to go?
Right. Where do you
It's
go?
a very complex social issue that we've got to do. It's not the folks that live in mobile homes, but we have to figure out a way to help them. And so we've got a lot of irons in the fire, but we've got to work through that. And
Yeah.
I will always be cognizant of people that live in mobile homes and try to give them a heads up and call out some towns. People aren't good with maps anymore because phones give turn-by-turn directions. And I can call out some places and say, hey, listen, if you
Like
live in
Wesley's booby trap.
well, wait a minute now. How do you know about Wesley's? That's disturbing on many different levels.
I dated a boy that lived in Corner, Alabama. That's all I'm going to say. But you
So
did
have
say
you-
Green
whoa, whoa,
Top
whoa, whoa,
Barbecue
whoa.
before Wesley, so to be fair.
No. The Green Top burned. The Green Top burned. There was
Did it?
nothing left. The Sportsman,
Oh.
the BP station closed. So all I've got's Wesley's.
Is it
So have
still
you-
open? Really?
Wait a minute. No. Have you been in Wesley's booby trap? That's the next question.
Oh, do you really want me to answer that?
Yes, I do. Honesty and
Unfortunately, yes, I
transparency is
had.
best here.
Yes, honestly, yes, I have been in there before. One time. Yes, James. That's all I'm gonna say. But this fine gentleman took me there, and he was not a fine gentleman. That's being sarcastic. But yes, sadly, I have. Yes.
This is earth shattering.
I cannot believe that I just shared that with you. Have
No,
you
no,
been
no,
in
no.
there?
We got a whole new show title. I've been in Wesley's.
No.
This is the show title now. I have
Instead
never
of
been
I was
inside that
willing to
building.
take my clothes off.
I mean, I have never been inside that building before.
Yeah, well,
wow.
it's not something I'm very proud of. It was I wasn't there very long, but yes, I did go in.
Green Top Barbecue right there. Wesley's booby trap right there. And over here, this is
just stunning. What's disturbing after I mentioned them on the air, they sent me a T-shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Which I, needless to say, did not bring home. I gave to some young reporter guy that's not married. But yeah, back to the original point, you've got to call out places. Listen, everybody in Corner, Dora, Summerton, Sayre, Bagley, Empire, they know where that joint is.
They all know where that is. They absolutely do. Yep.
That gives them the ability to make a decision that's best for their family, that they can understand. If I say a tornado is 14 miles southwest of Clanton, nobody knows where that is.
No.
Even people that live there, they don't know where that is. But if I say it's near Jim's Pit Barbecue, everybody in Billingsley, Alabama, they know exactly where that is.
Right.
And by the way, if you go to Jim's, you go by Jim's and tell Jeanette you know me. She'll take care of you. Greatest barbecue joint in the whole state. Billingsley,
really?
Alabama. US
Billingsley,
82.
Alabama. Okay.
But between Prattville and Maplesville. I'm in Autauga County. I'm just saying.
Though you do know your Alabama, because I have never even heard of it. So.
And by the way, we got 5 minutes. I've got to go in. I'm
no,
having to
yes.
do the late Ron Burgundy news. I'm trying to remove myself from that. But one of the guys at the old television station had a baby. His wife had a baby. And so he's on family leave. And so they're kind of thin staff, and I'll be glad to help. So normally I just do the 5 and the 6 o'clock old Ron Burgundy newscast, and that's it. Everything else I do is on the Alabama Weather Network, our statewide operation. But I got to cover the 10 o'clock news for Evan, so I got to run here in a few minutes. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'm the worst guest you've ever had on this show. This is horrible.
No, I've had somebody stand me up before, so that would be the worst.
At least I showed up.
Yeah, you showed up.
Yeah.
I got rickrolled. It was a great time. And so, but before you go, I do want you to talk about your books a little bit. Just mention those. So you've got several.
I'm not a writer, but this guy kept bugging me to write about my life, and I'm in a school every day, and I see hurting kids every day in some of the nicest school districts in the state. All right. I can be at Fox Run School in Opelika, home of the Bulldogs.
Wow. Look at you.
I wear my Opelika hat all the time. But we do the program in the high school. That's got a beautiful auditorium at Opelika High School, but I can see hurting kids everywhere. And I thought maybe my story will help a child that's struggling and know that they can be okay. And I just kind of did that as a ministry thing. And then the second one, I had no plan of writing, but if I didn't write the second one, I'd be haunted every day until the day I die. It was about April 27th, 2011. I just needed to tell some stories and not faulting journalists. There's no way you could tell stories of everything. 62 tornadoes in one day, 252 fatalities in one day. So insane. I wanted to document the day, the science of the day, and the stories of the day. I wish we had a book like that about March 21st, 1932. We don't know much about that event. We don't even know the death count, but it's for future generations. And those are the two that I've done. There's other children's books that other folks.
I was going to say the children's books. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a creative writer, but some people in my family are, and they put together those children's books, and they're good. A lot of kids are afraid of weather, and often those kids turn out to be the best atmospheric scientists once you overcome your fear and become fascinated. And so that's what all that is. But again, I just had to get some stuff down, and I'm glad I'll never do another one.
Well, that was an outlet. That was you may not have had the formal therapy, but I'm sure that was therapeutic in its own way to get that out there. So, and that one is called All You Can Do Is Pray.
Yeah, I said that on the air. I don't even remember it. I missed it. I was so busy that day. I missed the day. I missed the history and the emotion. I just was too busy. And in a way, I'm glad I was too busy. But at some point, I said in one of those things, all you can do is pray for those people. I don't even remember it, but I know it did because you can watch it on YouTube.
It's recorded, right?
Yeah, everything is there. So that's where that name came from. And the other one, the publisher came up with Weathering Life, which is my story, but it's about a low-income little boy from Greenville, Alabama, that's lived a dream.
Well, and it's been a good one, and has won awards, and just you've done some amazing things. And I know that you beat yourself up. This one was on us, that one was on us, but you have saved lives for certain. So
I know there should be a day to celebrate that, but we got to focus on the ones that we didn't save and figure out what went wrong and fix it. So
yes, sir.
Very
thank
motivated
you so
and
much.
A lot of work to do. It's an honor to be on your show, and I'm sorry you got rickrolled. I'm so sorry.
I'm not. That's so great.
It's bad. It's bad.
Well, thank you again.
My pleasure.